Hey, traders, welcome back to the live room. See the screen, hear the voice? Give me a yes if that's the case. Back on the old platform today, as requested. Glad we're able to get back to the old stuff. Let's turn this alarm off. There we go. Tell you what, it's been a great day so far. I had a dream last night, some strange dreams last night. And those dreams have allowed me to figure out how I wanted to put together the Foundation Course 2.0, which I'm excited about because I had all these ideas. If you guys know me, I write random things down in random places and then look at them at random times. So I had all these ideas written down everywhere, but no idea on how I wanted to put it together in a way that would actually make sense from a teaching perspective. And last night's dream kind of cleared that up. Now I haven't written it down yet. I should probably do that before I forget what it was. But I'll overly trust myself to remember, right? Maybe. Probably actually should write it down, but we'll see. I think I'll hold on to it. Boo. Secondly, I forgot the second thing. There was three things, but one, I found a pretty cool hashtag feed on Twitter this morning called Tough Parenting Task, right? Read through it. It is hilarious. Just went through it with my wife as well. Hilarious. It's basically a feed where parents are explaining the harshnesses of being a parent. And if there's one cool thing about being a parent, it's about being able to complain about the things your kids do. So that was pretty funny. It makes you feel a little alive inside. There's a third thing, but I guess it must not be that important because I've already forgotten about it. So welcome back to the live room today. As always, let's start off by checking out the economic calendar. We've got some news coming out. This is the wrong day. There we go. Today, May 16th or the 16th of May, we got Philly Fed coming out. We've got ADP non-farm employment change coming out for Canada. We've got a Bank of Canada financial system review a little bit later today at 10:30. That'll be after the live room is closed. We also have the Bank of Canada governor speaking a little bit later today at 11:15 after our live room is closed. Those are a few things you want to pay attention to. Canada has been the pair has been consolidating of late. We'll look at it first. We did kind of break out today, but it is a pair that we can expect some movement on. They're kind of deciding on what they want to do with interest rates. The trade war or new trade war is going to have an effect on them with oil as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they say. How was your trading day so far? I know many of you guys are up during the London session, getting busy on the charts. Good day today, boring day, slow day, noise day, educational day. Boring and fun, Lat says. AF, boring and fun. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get started. It was a pretty boring day as well. If Monday was, for me at least, the most busiest day, I had a lot on my radar for Monday. But that's typically the case. Mondays are when I do the bulk of my weekly analysis. So I essentially erase my entire charts on Monday and start all over from a higher time frame perspective. I set up my trading ideas for the week. And then as the week goes on, it's just little, if anything of relevance changes, then I adjust. But I always like looking at this as an opportunity to learn. There are a lot of things that are always going through my mind that I'm working on, a lot of observations that I'm making. And I just love identifying them in the market because those observations, those are what lead to the evolution of my trading plan. So when you guys see me switch something up where I take a new entry approach, right? It's not because I just saw it one day and I'm like, oh, that looks good. It's because of days and weeks and months and sometimes years of just evaluating the market and then finally working it into a way that is tradable. Again, the next big thing for me, in my opinion, is going to be a much more aggressive way to trade breakouts. That is something that I've been working on for about a year and a half. It takes me a little bit more time because I often don't have time to work on myself. So when I go through like testing phases, it's a lot slower than it used to be back in the day. But that's going to be the next evolution for me. I can see breakouts and really treating it like I did with the Head and Shoulders course, where we talked about trading that aggressive break of the neckline, just doing that with more pattern formations as well. But who knows when that will happen. But let's start with Dollar Canada. Dollar Canada on the daily. Let me make sure I write this down so I know that we are starting. Erase all. USD CAD, right? Dollar Canada on the daily. We've been inside a tight range. You see the market hasn't really been doing much, although we did see some bearish movement yesterday, and we'll see a little bit of a breakout of the boringness as we go down to the 4-hour chart, right? You can see, boom, yesterday we started moving lower. We consolidated a little bit, and now we're pushing lower. So I'm looking at this from one of two perspectives. We're probably going to be a little bit too short for any type of trend continuation trades, but we can still keep that on the radar. But what do you guys think I'm looking at when I see this Dollar Canada pair? I'm seeing this this massive bearish move, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the last 6 candles being bearish. We're nose diving down. Where do you think my mindset lies? Or what is the question that you think I would ask myself, or I am asking myself? Yeah. Where is it going? Well, if we're going to fall, where are we going to fall to? And what do you think the answer to that question is? All the way to the bottom, right? Structure, structure, structure. So where is that next level of structure, Kia? Where is that next level of structure? And I look down here and I see 2 levels of structure, right? At the same level. Price comes down here previously. V bottom. You guys know how I feel about these V bottoms, right? We do play around, create some minor structure a little bit higher. Another test to this level, right? About 6 days ago, what do? Same thing, V bottom. Probably a level that I should pay attention to. Probably. Now we do have some lower levels of structure as well, right? We have some structure down there, some structure down here. But we'll worry about that if and when we break this level. So what I'm looking at right now in my mind is from a counter trend trading perspective is if price action comes down to this zone, then how can I get involved? And would it actually offer a tradable opportunity? That's going to be the harder part with this is not only do you think we can reverse, but can we reverse far enough to make it actually profitable? And that's something that would have the question mark, especially depending on what happens at this level. Now, one can also take the opposite approach. One can say, okay, well, if I believe that price is likely to continue down to that 133.80s level, how can I get involved in the move down there? So a counter trend trader would be thinking, if we get to that level, how can I play a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a retracement? A trend continuation trader is thinking, okay, well, I think we're going to come down to that level. Is there a way I can kind of hop on this move down and get involved in that level? Now, again, the tricky thing you want to pay attention to, we do have these little inside levels of structure, so it's not clear sailing. So it'll be interesting to see how the price reacts at our current level right now. Going down to the 60. Gives us a little clearer view of what's going on. Right, again, we can zoom out, we can see our major level down here, the current level we're trading at right here. Price action is currently holding that level. Someone looking for a counter trend trading opportunity at this level, we get a higher high, higher close right here. RSI did go oversold. I always say it the wrong way. RSI did go oversold here. We get a higher high, higher close. That could be an entry reason. again, the thing you want to pay attention to is there enough reason, is there enough availability for profits here? And what that essentially means is, where do you think price is likely to go? If you think price is only likely to come back to this zone right here, may not be a quality enough risk reward for you to take. Would help if I made this a different color. However, if your projection is price is likely to continue higher, say up here, then it's a brilliant looking trade. So a lot of it will depend on your interpretation. I would have no reason to believe that price is likely to come back past this level. Again, I'm a very conservative trader when it comes to structure, especially my counter trend trading. So I wouldn't be able to have the risk reward that works for me at this level. But we are not all the same. Heading down to the 15-minute chart. Pretty much the same story here. Obviously, you would get your higher high, higher close a little bit sooner. Let's go down to the 5. 5-minute chart, you have a range break, right? You see the market does a sideways shuffle, double bottom down here. Break of the range. Again, this is something that I love. And let's head down to a range bar chart. If I can, there you go. Let's head down to a range bar chart. USD CAD. Range bar chart gives us a little clearer picture of what's going on here. So you still have your lows, if we have enough data yet. You still have your multiple levels of lows here, right? These are your bigger lows, your spikes. These are your higher lows up here. As a range bar trader, right, a lot of this junk is out of the picture. You can look clearly at this, right? As a pullback trader, you've got a nice kill zone right here between 134.27 and about 134.50s. A nice kill zone to look for price to come back into, and a potential move back down. Now, again, I would be cautious about, I would be cautious with your first targets about looking at it as a true trend kind of following type of trade where you're looking for an extension, mainly because we do know this level is a relevant level of structure. So I think it would be a little bit too, in my opinion, for me, it'd be a little bit too aggressive to anticipate that price is going to come down and just automatically smash through this level to the other lows. So if we do get a trading opportunity here, I think your first level of target should be at a retest of structure. Your secondary one down at the next structure low. And of course, if we are going to see a reversal here, this is looking way forward, we could see something like this. Price can come up to a deep retracement. And we could end up putting in some type of head and shoulders pattern and reverse and end up retesting the highs. Something like that. So, questions on dollar Canada? George said today's gonna be quick. Was London quick this morning? What? All right. Let's go to Euro Aussie next. That was a pair that I remember being on my radar last night. We looked at it yesterday as well. What time are you up, George? Because you're 2 hours behind me, Texas. Is it 5:47 right now for you? One hour. Okay. God, these time zones kill me, man. I remember the one time I went to, it was a trip. And I went, where did I go to? I went from I went from I'm on the East Coast. I went from Pennsylvania. I went from Pennsylvania to Kansas to Colorado to somewhere else. And I remember I just kept I just kept bouncing around between that 1 hour, 2 hour time zone deal. I'm guessing it's somewhere. I think what Colorado is 2, I guess. Kansas is what are you? Kansas is 1. Are you 1 behind me or 2 behind me, OG? You're 2 behind me, right? In Kansas. Maybe it was you're 1. Okay, yes, that's what it was then. Yeah. So I went to Kansas. And I lost 1. And then I went to Colorado and I lost another 1. And then I think I went to like Texas or something after that. And then gained 1 again. And I had no idea what time it was. Man. I think this was the first time where I didn't realize. I thought it was just, I didn't realize there was like a 1 hour, like Central Time. I think like Chicago. I don't think of like I think of like Chicago being Central Time, and everything else is West Coast. Everything else is 3 hours. So I think I was anticipating 3 and I got 1. And I was like, okay, well that makes sense. It's Central Time. Then I got 2 and I was like, where the hell did 2 come from? And then, you have layovers in the airport where like, there's these days, there's not a lot of direct flights. So like in order to get from like Kansas back to Philly, I had to go to like Arizona and I lost some more. And I'm just lucky. Thank God for technology where your cell phones and if you have smartwatches, they automatically adjust. Because if I was on my own, man, I'd still be out there. You don't appreciate the little things in life, like your cell phone automatically adjusting. George, I would have been late to everything. Yeah. Well, it's weird. I tell you what. It's weird because we'll go out. Typically, when I'm out to Kansas, we're doing some type of like event. So we're doing a live event. We always start on East Coast time. So the live events start 7:30 anyway, right? So we got to go in there and prep like 6:30, right? So me, because I'm up on my East Coast time, I'm up like 3:30 in the morning. Like the only one walking through Target 3:30 in the morning, picking up Starbucks and some granola bars. And then of course I come into the office because I can't sleep, and who's in there? Darren's in there in like the pitch black, listening to like some gothic music. He's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" I'm like, "What's wrong with you, man? Turn some lights on." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." "What time did you get here?" "I don't know." "What time did I leave?" That's the question. I'm like, my gosh. It was the weirdest thing. I swore I was early. Darren's in there. Just like all you see is a computer screen, like this chair slowly turn around. I'm like, "What is wrong with you, man? Go home." Go home. It's like, "I can't go home, man. 2 Red Bulls in already." It's 3:00. Yeah. Oh, man. That's launch week. I think I remember asking OG before if he's coming in early. He's like, "No." I'm going to keep coming in 7:30. No need for me to be here 4:00 in the morning. Oh, the fun stuff. You paid his dues already. Yeah. Well, see, like, yeah, I didn't plan on being there early. I just couldn't sleep. My body doesn't adjust. My body doesn't adjust. Darren had no excuse. Look, if I wasn't awake 3:30 in the morning, I wouldn't be in there at 3:30 in the morning. But anyway, London was even worse, man. London just hit me the next day. Just slapped me in the face. Kids didn't know what to do. My kids are already super active. Made even worse. So, all right. So, Euro Aussie. We're in an interesting position here yesterday. We kept flirting with structure. But we keep seeing these rejections, right? You see this on the daily candle. Is this a positive sign for a breakout? No, right? Not a positive sign at all for a breakout. When we go down to the lower time frame, we're playing with different levels of structure. Obviously, we have a higher level of structure up here on the daily, which is what we've been playing with. But we've been breaking this level. And although we've broken it here on the daily, you can see the higher high, higher close. We haven't really had any strong bullish signals, right? We have a strong bullish candle here, but even, I mean, there's some loose ends at the top, right? We don't have we have a stronger close, but we don't have a close that, is something like this, right? You guys see this candle over here? That's a strong close. Why is that a strong closed candle? Strong. Strength. Strength in numbers. Where's Raymond at? Raymond came in the chat yesterday bragging about his Golden State Warriors. Yeah, that's a strong closed candle. You're gonna lose tonight, Raymond. You're probably not. you're gonna sweep the Trailblazers. But yeah, no wick at the top. By the way, we didn't talk about the draft lottery. We'll save that for. I'm surprised we didn't do that. The NBA draft lottery. But yeah, we have some wicks to the high side here, and we keep why do you say that, George? We keep repeating it, right? We have a wick to the high side here, and then we have another one here, and then another one here, and then again in real time yesterday, it looks like we're going to break out, or today I should say, it looks like we're going to break out. And this has got to be from the Aussie news that came out last night, and then we put in an even higher wick. So when I keep seeing this, right, the story which I create is the bulls are trying to push higher, obviously. The bulls are trying to push higher, and they keep getting rejected. And common sense would tell you, right, it's only a matter of time before what happens. Yeah. So what would be a good sign would be a lower low, lower close. If you're looking for a short, and this is going to be a tough one because it's going to be hard to even project where price would likely to go down to. But if we were to see a lower low, lower close candle, like an engulfing candle here, with a very strong bearish close, I think we'd see some follow through. I think we'd see some follow through lower. Now the question is, where to? That's going to be the hard part because I can't identify a key level of structure to save my life on this chart right now, guys. As far as on this last impulsive move up, I mean, can you tell me? There's a zone right here that stands out to me. Right? We've got the wick, the high wick here. We've got the low wick here. But you can also make the case for right in here as well. I mean, obviously this yellow line is the first one that stands out, but you would assume that would be tested on the closing candle. You can make a case for right in here as well, 60-50s, right? Look left, that's going to come at previous structure. It's tough. This is an example where I don't do this much, but sometimes a line chart gives you a better view. You guys ever do that? Sometimes a line chart gives you a better perspective. Yeah. I don't do it too often because I like it. Obviously, the line chart you're looking at closes only. You're not seeing the wicks. I do think the wicks give you a good story. But sometimes if everything's really choppy, a line chart can give you a good idea of just kind of like the major, I don't know, just kind of like range bar charts. Visually, it makes it look a little bit easier. The problem is it doesn't take your wicks into account. So you're only looking at your closes. So it doesn't give you the full story. But yeah, keep an eye out for a bearish engulfing candle. A bearish engulfing candle, we could see some continuation down. And something you can do there is, you may not necessarily have to use that information as a swing trader. You can use that information as a day trader too, right? If I just told you guys that if we see that bearish engulfing candle, we can expect some type of follow through in that direction, right? So if you get that on the daily, what that means as a day trader is you can come in the next day and say, hey, I'm expecting follow through. Let's hit those lower time frames and see if we can get some type of smaller move. And you're probably going to have, smaller levels of structure that you can pinpoint on your lower time frame. So it can come in handy that way as well. especially the Euro Aussie, which has a good amount of the ATR is pretty fair on this, so you'll see a good amount of movement on lower time frames. But that's what I'd be looking for there on the daily. The 2 hours or just the 4 hours not going to give us a true story. Again, you have technically your higher high, higher close here, but we get that rejection candle up there, which, I always say good moves don't last, right? If it's going to be a strong breakout, should we see that type of candle? No, we shouldn't see that type of candle there, and especially the immediate retracement after that. So I don't think we're in store for any type of bullish break here. Welcome to the land of analysis, guys. Welcome to the land of analysis, right? But again, when you know how to read a price chart, those clues will help out. Sometimes those little clues will help get you into a situation. Sometimes they'll help keep you out of one. So in the 60-minute chart, completely different story. Again, this is our range break. We did break out. You still have that long wick candle up there. We have a retest in the structure. Normally, I would say, right, range break, pull back, look for a buying opportunity here. But because of the information that we have on the higher time frames, I'm not interested in any type of long right here. I'm not interested in any type of long. So let's go down to the 15, perhaps. See if something smaller exists on the 15. Looks like we had a small advanced pattern. Nope. Maybe could have had one. Let's go down to the 5. All right, and we'll hit a range bar chart. By the way, Canada retracing, starting to retrace. So I wonder if we did get that higher high, higher close. Let's go check on that real quick. Aussie pairs are dead. They're dead to me. So yeah, look, higher high, higher close. Let's see if we got one on the 60 as well. Yeah, look at that. Higher high, higher close in the 60. The thing here would be, again, just risk reward. I would like that if let's say this didn't exist, guys. Right? If this didn't exist, I would like this opportunity. Here's how I would take it, right? I'd aggressively buy it right here at the highs. Stops, obviously, for me, an ATR below 134 even. So 133.90s would be my stops right here. Targets up at inside structure right in here. Unfortunately, we do have this, so that would do like that. So we'll see. Something else I'm flirting with. Again, this is going to be for the future me, and I mentioned this the other day. I forgot who it was, but we were reviewing a trader's trading opportunity on the Euro Yen. We're talking about building a plan and all this fun stuff, entry stops and targets. And the trader mentioned that he was using a buy stop. Right? Have any of you guys ever used that? A buy stop or a sell stop to enter a trade? That's another thing that I see myself going to as I work on this breakout trading deal. Because again, that's how I like to trade breakouts, is a buy stop after the breakout candle. So that may be it's and again, what happens when I'm doing basically, for you guys that saw the strategy, give me a yes if you watched the Strat Lab strategy development diaries I did this past winter. If you haven't done that, when you get to the point of strategy development, I think it's worth going through, because it was a failed attempt at creating a strategy, right? It was a failed attempt at creating a strategy, but I think what was cool about it is it was real time. It wasn't planned. It was basically me just vlogging, and it walks you through the process of like, hey, here's what I want to do. All right, now let's see if I can do it. Okay, well that doesn't actually work. Okay, well this works. Now can I do it this way or this way? Let's try it this way. That way didn't work. Let's make an adjustment. And it was the process of going through all that, and eventually it never worked. But I think the process was cool. But if you guys remember in that series, something I talked about was doing a visual test before testing. You guys remember that? Just kind of doing an eye test through the market. That's essentially what I do here in the live room as well. And every time I do my analysis. So when I'm thinking of ideas, obviously when I look at a price chart, I know in about 10 seconds whether it's something tradable for me or not. I have very strict and specific rules for what I can trade. So I can look at a chart and 10 seconds later I can tell you, yes, it's something I should pay attention to or not. So the other time, right, aside from those 10 seconds, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the ideas that are going through my mind and saying, oh, would this have been an example here? Would that have been an example there? Yes, no, and seeing if that stuff worked. So it's always a process of just trying to get better. Always a process of trying to get better. Something we could have here is a cipher, perhaps. Let me see. Didn't even think about that. X to A. Nope. Shorten the BLEX. No cipher here on dollar Canada. All right, so let's go back down to, let's go to real quick Euro Aussie on the range bar charts. Again, keep an eye on Canada as we come back up to that previous level of structure. Here's Euro Aussie on the range bar chart. So not too much. Again, what we're looking for in Euro Aussie is really the bigger picture. If we can get that bearish engulfing day. Questions on Euro Aussie? Aussie pairs are dead. All right, let's go to Euro. Oops, wrong pair, wrong chart. Let's go to the Euro dollar. And again, if you guys have a pair that you want to jump to quickly, just shoot it into me. I don't mind. I'm going in a random order today because there wasn't really anything on my radar. New Zealand, Canada, sure, perfect. New Zealand, Canada on the daily. What are we doing here? Looks like a failed cipher earlier in the year. How dare you fail, you cipher? You're supposed to work all the time, every time. Taylor says head and shoulders on the hourly on the RSI. Okay. So first and foremost, what are you doing, New Zealand, Canada, right? So we've broken a previous inside structure shelf here. We've wicked down on the New Zealand news the other day. And we're currently coming down to retest that wick, right? So we know that we're going to see some previous structure as we go down to the lower time frames. We also have a psychological number in 88 cent. So knowing that we're coming down to retest a previous level of structure, what's our thought process automatically for looking at this? Are we looking to buy? Are we looking to sell? Looking to buy if we hold structure. Obviously, if structure is violated, then we would be looking to sell. Would actually be a pretty decent sell. There's some room. There's some room here. All right, so for me, my focus would be on buying, which would fall in line with the head and shoulders that Taylor mentioned. So we're coming down into the zone. And again, these are always wacky, but the low of our zone is here. And this is an example. We talked about line charts. If you were just looking at a line chart, it doesn't give you all the information. Guess what we never have here? Hey, where'd that wick go? Hey. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's gone, right? Does this provide us with all the information we need to know in the market? No, right? Boom, this is very important. So again, that's what you want to be careful with line bar charts, which is why I'm not a fan of them. They just don't give all the information. So we're coming to this level. We've had a strong bullish candle. Strong bearish candle. That strong bearish candle went over sold. And we followed it up with an engulfing candle, right? You see that green one? An engulfing candle. And I would say a strong engulfing candle, right? The high is very close to the close, right? We then have a bearish candle next to that, right? Bearish candle basically held up at 50% range of the previous candle. And obviously this is still in play for another hour. That's what we're currently doing. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad location at all. Hey, Chris, I don't think it's a bad location at all to start looking for a head and shoulders or a potential reversal, I should say, right? Especially the fact that we had what stands out to me is this strong candle. This is a strong move, right? There are buyers interested in here. How do I know? Because they completely engulfed that previous bearish candle. Now, what I would love more, what do you think I would love more? If I were a super aggressive trader, what would I love more? More, please. Yeah, if we took out the lows, right? So if this wick, right? If this wick really probed down a little bit, I would love that more, right? Because you know what that would do? Yeah, it would get some other traders out the market. But markets aren't always perfect. But I would love that more. But the markets, if you saw my quote this morning from Mike Bellafiore, right? The markets don't always have to do what I want them to do. They should, but they don't have to. So, heading down to a 60. You guys can see what Taylor's eyeing up. We've got a move down here. We've got a retracement up here, all normal stuff. We've got an extension down here, even on the 60, right? Engulfing candle, right? Strong bear followed by strong bull. Oversoldness at the bottom. We have a retest, a deep retracement. We know that deeper retracements equal weaker trends. How about pound Aussie candle right now? Speaking of, that's a 5 minute, never mind. Deep retracement here. We have a retest to the neckline. And we have the potential for a head and shoulders, right? Now, the bearer of bad news strikes again, as always, right? The question you always have to ask yourself is, where do I think price is likely to go to? This is going to be a tough level to get through, it looks like, in my opinion. Right? This level right here lines up with the inside level of structure. So it's not clear sailing. But if we are going to see a follow through, we can look for a follow through to retest previous structure highs, the start of this previous swing. But this is going to be tough in my opinion. Because what's going to happen is most likely this, Taylor. Let's say we see a move up here, right? A break of this neckline is probably going to take you right to this level before the retracement. If we do get a pullback, right? So now, right now, if you're already in, that's a positive thing because you have room for expansion. You have room from here to here. So I was gonna say, if you got in at the right shoulder, I think that's the place to be in. If you're looking for the breakout or the pullback, it's gonna be a little bit tougher because once price action gets here, right, and reverses. Essentially, that's the market telling you this level held. Right? And it's not as safe to go from here to here. Right? This is going to be that first level. So I think being in right now is actually the best play, in my opinion, versus waiting. Now, the question is, how can you get in? How can you get in at this level? Obviously, you can be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive, right? Or what else can you do? Nice pullback on Euro Aussie range bar as well. What else can you do? Real quick, let's see if this is going to be a. We don't have a true. I'm not interested in getting bearish here, but this would be an example of that Fibonacci inversion trade. Watch this. Watch this, right? 618 on the nose. It's going to be right up here. And then watch this. Should be a 786. Nope, it's going to be a little bit off, I think. Same place. Watch this level. Watch if price gets to this level. See if we get a reaction right there. Something like this. Fib inversion. Yeah. So something you can do is, you can go to the lower time frames. So this can be your higher time frame analysis, right? You guys know for my day trading, the 60 is my higher time frame. So the 60 is equivalent to my daily for my day trading. So you identify this in your 60, you say, hey, potential head and shoulders, trading at the right shoulder. Now, when you go down to your lower time frames, if you have a reason for entry on those lower time frames, you can take that as an entry reason into your head and shoulders. Chris says, without an initial structure high, I need double bottom in wick on left shoulder on lower time frame. All right, let's go down to the lower time frames. Lower time frames, 15. You can see a shoulder formed, bounced, retesting. Did have a higher high, higher close here. Let's go down to the 5, and you guys know ultimately what I'm going to go down to, my favorite type of chart, right? It's going to be my range bar chart. All right, let's go down to the range bar charts here. I need to load up another one. I used to have 2, and I only have 1 now. We should look at pound dollar as well. It's a good one. What is this? Euro, New Zealand, Canada, right? New Zealand, Canada. Yeah, so if you're an aggressive trader, you have we don't have a higher high, higher close, but you have a retest of structure here. Looks like you would have just would have been aggressive in order to get involved at that right shoulder. Latch says bull bat on the hour 15. I didn't see that this morning. Let's take. Well, I didn't look at the 15s. Let me just go to euro dollar real quick. If you guys have any questions on New Zealand, Canada, type it in. Let's check out euro dollar. X to A, A to B, B to C, and C to D. Right down here, potential bullish bat. Euro dollar 15-minute chart. All right, let's go to pound dollar next. Any question on New Zealand, Canada? Good firing, Latch. Go to pound dollar. Pound Aussie is moving as well. And I want to keep looking at dollar Canada. All right. Pound dollar. Big loss for me yesterday on this one. Bleh. That's how I feel about that. But we shake it off. And what I was looking for this morning on the pound, all right, I put this in the trading idea tab last night. 2 things I was looking for. Right? One would be a trend continuation, right? Opportunity from breaking these lows to the bottom level of structure. What do you think the second thing would be? Yep. If you're looking for your next buying opportunity, look for that lower level of support. So the level that price action is coming into right now, about 128 even, right? 128 even down to about 127.70s. Counter. Kitchen counter. Yeah. So counter trend trade written all over it for the pound dollar. Yeah, let's go down to the 240. 240. And again, looked like there may have been, for you guys that were up last night, maybe not. So there might have been a trend continuation opportunity here if you're on the lower time frames, but you get to see how that worked out. But yeah, heading down to the 240 and probably even the 60-minute chart. Let's just skip to the 60. Once price gets into that zone, again, 128 even. 128 even to 127.70s. That's going to be your area for looking for Potential buying opportunities. This zone right in here. So pound dollar traders, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye if we continue to push lower. So down to the 15. Ooh, did Pound Aussie just put in a 5-minute pattern? I'm watching Pound Aussie. It did. So small though. Give me a second. Yeah, look at that. Right in the nose. Bat pattern. 185.36. So not too much here on the pound dollar. Again, just watch that level 128. Wait till we get to that level 128 to 127.70s. If you're a higher time frame trader, start looking for counter trend trading opportunities. Yeah, here would have been your entry reason if you were up at that time, 4 o'clock in the morning. Boom, here's your lower low, lower close. Looking for 128s. What else is present at that level? Who sees it? 54s, stops. If you can get above that, it'd be better. Yep, RSI swap. All right, you guys see the RSI down here? Oversold directly to overbought. RSI swap. Boom, boom, boom. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Now, again, we talked about this yesterday. This is one that only works if you're a trend following trader, right? If you're looking for a retest of previous structure lows right here, probably not getting the risk reward that you want. So it's got to be a trend following style to get that risk reward and get a safe stop loss. Action, 4 o'clock in the morning my time. Look at that. All right, let's go to Pound Aussie next because it's moving. It's moving. Let's see what it's up to. I like to move it, move it. And you guys said it was a boring day. It is a boring day. We're finding stuff to talk about, which is cool. All right, so Pound Aussie here on the daily. Daily, right? Wouldn't shock me to see a big bearish move down to 183s. Just as we talked about with the Euro Aussie, right? Paying attention to recent candlesticks, right? What do we have up here? We have a gap and a big bearish candle, right? We have an engulfing candle. And then we're playing around a little bit. But look at the wicks on these last two candles, right? Again, what is the story that those wicks present to you? What is the story that those wicks present? We get a strong close on the day, or a lower low, lower close on the day. Would not surprise me for us to come down to our next relevant level of structure. Now, technically, that would be right here. If I had to choose a level within here, 183 looks to stand out for me. But 184 is not a bad level either. But we can definitely see some bearish action on the pound dollar. Long wicks to the upside, small wicks to the downside. Yeah. George says, oh yeah, NBA, the rules don't matter. Traveling, double dribble, out of bounds, none of that. You work hard to make it to the pros, and most just take a break and start slacking. Pure entertainment for both. Yeah, I mean, that's professional sports for you in general, though. I mean, I think that's, well, not even sports. That's profession in general. Once you make it to your ultimate destination, people tend to settle because you've made it. So I think, you know, what separates, I mean, the elite are the ones that keep trying to get better. I mean, look at Shaquille O'Neal, man. Shaquille O'Neal, I think he could have easily been the greatest player of all time when he played. He was unstoppable. There is nothing anybody can do to ever stop Shaquille O'Neal. I don't care what you tried. There was nothing you could do. He can score whenever he wanted. He can get the rebound whenever he wanted. But he didn't care. He didn't care about staying in shape. He didn't care about getting better, developing a low post game. So he ended up, obviously, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players of all time. But I think he could have went down as the greatest player of all time. I think that's the difference you see with people like LeBron James. I think he kept trying. Giannis keeps trying. We'll see. So young in his career. I would say probably the best example right now. You know who the best example is for you NBA fans? The Claw, Kawhi Leonard. Right? Kawhi Leonard, who I think right now is the best player in the league. Right? That's his laugh for you guys don't know. People say he's half robot, which I believe. Cyborg. Zero emotions. He came in as a defensive only player. I think Kevin Durant is extraterrestrial. I think Giannis is extraterrestrial. I think Kawhi Leonard is a robot. But he came into the league just playing defense, a broken jump shot. And he got put in the right situation. Obviously, San Antonio is a great program to be a part of. But he's turned into an unstoppable scorer. So he's got the want. So people like him, man. Even Kevin Durant. You know, I'm not a Kevin Durant fan, but he works hard. He's improved his game a lot, especially defensively. But yeah, I think in general, most people find success in just slack, and you see it in trading as well. You see it in trading as well, where people work really, really hard at the beginning, right? When you see the massive gains. And then once they quote unquote make it, once they become a consistently profitable trader, they stop doing the things that got them to that point in the first place. And for some people, they just never improve. They're okay with being where they are. For some people, they start going backwards. Unfortunately. So you gotta be driven. And it's the same thing we talk about where, we always talk about, the saying, money can't buy you happiness. Yes, money can buy you happiness. Whoever says money can't buy you happiness hasn't gotten a lot of money, right? Money will make you a lot happier. It brings you comfort, right? You're a lot happier when you know that you don't have to struggle paying a mortgage or paying a bill. Trust me, I've been there. Right? It makes you a lot happier when you can do things you want, right? If you want to donate for cancer research, but you couldn't really do it because you needed money to buy groceries, but now you have enough money where you can donate at will. It makes you happier for that too, right? So money can definitely buy you happiness. But there is a direct correlation of once you make a certain amount of money, the amount of happiness that it brings starts to decrease once you get over that comfortable zone. Again, I don't know what the number is in last as 50 Cent said, it doesn't necessarily push happiness away. No. I don't know what that number is in other countries. I know here in the U.S. they always say about once you get over about 75K, 70K a year, your happiness starts to decrease because once you would assume once you're making 70K a year, 70,000, that you're no longer struggling to pay bills. You may not be living the lifestyle that you want, but you can buy food, you can pay your bills, you can stay in your house or your apartment if you're renting. So the question is, once you make a certain amount of money, and if you assume that success in trading is based off how much money you make, what keeps these successful people going, right? And it's the why. It's the why. So people that go on to see ultimate success, they're driven by something different. They're not driven by money. How much can I make? They're driven by the why. So it could be, well, what can I do with this money? Or what purpose they're bringing with their business or whatnot. Maybe their goal is to change the world, and whatever they're doing is allowing them to change the world, right? A good example is what we're doing right here, right? We are positively affecting traders. We are taking people in who want to change their life dramatically by taking control of their financial investments, right? By teaching, I'm helping you guys do that. That brings me a massive amount of value, right? It makes me feel like I have a purpose in this world. I am helping people, right? I think the goal in life is your success, your legacy should be measured on how many people you impact, right? So the goal is to always impact more. If I can help change someone's life in the smallest of ways, that's a win. So I'm driven by that. That's the main driver right now. And it could be one of a million things. Again, it could be whatever you want, but there has to be an outside force that motivates you to do what you need to do. If you don't have that outside force, if it's simply money, or if it's simply success, which again, success in trading, I guess you can measure it by money, it's, well, what happens after you reach that optimal level? If there's nothing else to drive you, you just settle. And when you settle, you go backwards. In these markets, you do. Maybe in life, you just stay there. You stay at your normal job and you collect your salary and it's all good. In trading, you go backwards because the markets are always changing, right? So if we're not always changing with the markets, if we just think we can settle and do the same thing, we're going to be in trouble. Reminds me of the story of this lady that built up her account to, I think, like $500,000 and like almost blew it all. Scary stuff. I remember talking to her at a mastermind meeting. I'm like, you did what now? Come again? I want to like slap her. How the hell did you do that? But it's real. Yeah, we're at a mastermind meeting. We're going around sharing stories, and she was sharing the story. I'm like eating something, right? Because we were just pigging out the entire weekend. So I'm eating something. She's like, yeah, I grew my account to 50,000 or 500,000, whatever it was. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's awesome. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure if it was 500,000 or 50,000, but there was a 5 in there. But something. She massively grew her account. I'm eating, and like she's like, yeah, and I started blowing it all, spit it all out. Like, what? What? I think it had to be 500,000 because I remember it was a shocking enough amount to like me to spit out my food. I'm like, what? Come again? Huh? What? George says huge difference. Yeah, and it was. I don't remember. Like, I don't really care about. It wasn't my money, so I don't really care. It doesn't stay in my mind that long. But it was. She significant. The point is, she significantly grew her account, and then she proceeded to blow it all. Not blow it all, but she was bleeding it very, very quickly. She was trying to figure out what happened. If you settle, man, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen if you settle. So. Yeah, you got to find that outside driver. Why are you? We talked to George yesterday about, why do you want to start a podcast? Like, what's the point? Like, what do you ultimately want? Like, what do you want out of life? What do you want to achieve? Cure world hunger? Cure cancer? Just make as much money as possible? Help your family? Right? You guys, I talk about this all the time with my I hate real estate investing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Why do you do if you hate it? Well, because it has a bigger purpose, right? The financial markets are one thing, right? I can trade and be great at trading, be good at trading all I want. It doesn't help my family, right? It is a skill I can pass on. I can teach my family. But at the end of the day, guess what? My kids have to be good at that skill in order to be good at it. There's no telling if they have any interest in it, or even if they have interest, if they'll be good at it, right? Real estate investing is something that I like hands-on brick and mortar. I know not everyone is likes that. I like owning physical assets. Right? Now there are ways you can invest in real estate, investment trusts and stuff like that. I like physical assets, right? I like a house that I can touch. I like gold that I can kind of twiddle between my fingers, right? It's a comfort thing for me. Right? Don't tell me I have a car, right? Give me a car, right? Let me get in the car. It's maybe it's trust issues. I don't know. I like knowing it's mine physically, right? With real estate, the thing that I enjoy about that is, right? Obviously, that is an investment that I can pass down to my future generations, where they don't have to have any skill at real estate investing. Does that make sense? They don't have to be skilled at all. They could be dumb as a doorknob. Hopefully that's not the case. But they could be dumb as a doorknob and run a successful real estate investment business. Why? Because you pay other people to do the work for you. What do you need as a real estate investor? Who can tell me? Do they need to know how to read a chart? Assuming the portfolio is already up and running, so they're not actively looking to add more properties and whatnot. Let's assume that they've got 100 property portfolio. You need a property manager and an accountant and a lawyer. Property manager, accountant, lawyer. 3 things, right? Anything else? Right? You pay 3 people to do the job for you. Yeah, it runs itself. The best thing I did in life, right, was, again, trust issues, right? I wanted to do it all myself. Drove myself crazy trying to manage and everything myself. Right now, I do nothing. I collect a check. When I decided to get property managers to do it for me, right? I didn't want to do it because I was I'm frugal, so I was like, well, I can keep that 3 to 5% for myself and make more money, right? Especially when we don't have a lot of money, every bit matters. But then you go through the hassle of getting called at night. Water heater broke. Oh, are you kidding me? The electric's not working. Did you twist you go over there and you twist the light bulb and it works? I'm like, just twist the damn light bulb. Oh. Right? All this dumb stuff. And it became much less stressful to just have to pay someone to do it for me. I remember I was talking to Jason Stapleton about this, and I think he's the one that made the light bulb go off in my head, where he was like, I was talking to him about success and stuff. He's like, my goal is I don't ever want to do anything that I don't want to do. He's like, if I don't want to pump my own gas, I want to be able to pay someone to do it for me. I'm like, isn't that taking a little bit too far? He's like, yeah, but that's the point. And I think that's kind of a goal in life for me. Like, I don't want to do anything that I don't have to do. Or I don't want to have to do anything that I don't want to do. But yeah, it'll run itself. Yeah, it'll run itself. So building that is a legacy. It is a way of basically ensuring as much as I can, the well-being of my family in the future. That worst case scenario, they come out dumb as a doorknob. They don't get any jobs, or another recession and all this other stuff happens. They have something that they can step into and live and create income. That's a win for me. That's the why. That's the big picture. That's what drives me. So you find that why, you'll never settle. But if that why is just like money, then there's going to come to a point where it's just like you're not as motivated anymore. All right, so let's pound Aussie real quick. Let's finish up, or let's continue down, because we almost got a lower close. All right, so we're looking at a strong bearish candle can give us a signal that we're likely to go lower, possibly to 84.50s. We're not going to see too much here on the 4 hour, though we may have an advanced pattern formation. Let's just see. X to A, A to B. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we have a potential Gartley down here as well, or a bat, excuse me. So that could be something that you can keep in mind, obviously for a buying opportunity if you're a bat pattern trader, but also for a target taking opportunity if we end up getting a move lower. So keep that on the radar. I'll go ahead and get this into our trade floor during the break, our pro trade log. But going down to the 60 and the lower time frames, what we're seeing is a retested structure right here. And we're looking to see if we can break out of this level right here. Right? So let's skip down to the 15 and the 5. Here's the 5, what I'm looking at in the 5. We got a big push up, ended up completing a smaller bat pattern. Right? A big push up, a hold that structure. I'd love to see a break of this level. Love to see a break of that level, and we can potentially anticipate a move going lower. So just like the pound dollar, I would head to the range bars. You see pound dollar still continuing to go lower, down to 28s. That's what the expectation was. Real quick while I'm browsing around, here's your dollar. Your dollar Canada didn't quite get to the zone, but you got that lower low, lower close candle right now. Potentially get look for maybe a complex pullback into that zone, or a double bottom or double top up there. Excuse me. But yeah, I'd go down to the range bar charts or lower time frames on pound Aussie. See if we can violate this level. If we can violate that level, let's see what were we shooting for again here. Start talking about the Y and whatnot, and I forgot where we were projecting price to go to. 84.50s. 84.50s. I think we can legitimately see a move down to 84.50s, which is about right here. So you've got open space and opportunity to be a trend trader if we break this level. Be careful with the 85 even handle, psychological number. Could be a little trap zone right here where price pushes down and kind of tricks people right around the 85 level. But still about 50 pips from 85 even down to about 84.50s. Questions on pound Aussie? Did we do pound dollar, guys, or did we just briefly look at it? We did pound dollar, right? Trying to keep notes of what pairs we did. We did a full on pound dollar, right? And then pound Aussie. Latch is like, I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention. I just sign and then leave. I just see candles. Good save. Good save. All right. So let's do this. Let's take a break. It's gonna be a 2-session day because I've got to head out by 9:45. But we're rolling through pretty good so far. We've done dollar Canada, euro, Aussie, New Zealand, Canada, pound dollar maybe, and pound Aussie. So we'll take a 13-minute break. We'll come back and we'll continue whipping around these pairs. All right, gang, back for round 2. We're gonna head over to the dollar yen next. If you guys are just joining us, so far we looked at dollar Canada, euro Aussie, excuse me, New Zealand Canada, pound dollar, and pound Aussie. Let's head over to the dollar yen next. USD JPY. As always, we'll start on the daily and we'll work our way down. If I can find my other chart. There we go. We do have an advanced pattern forming on the dollar yen. Now, if you guys remember, over the past few days, I had a trend continuation trade on dollar yen. We were able to get initial targets hit yesterday before the market rallied back up. And you see we're coming back up. We're basically playing around in between two zones. We came down to the 109 even handle. We've bounced back up to about 109.75. You can see kind of the three, really four levels of a structure that exists at that level. And we're looking for a hold and a continued move lower. Now, overall, this market is still in consolidation, like many of the pairs we see on our chart. But when looking at short-term trends, we can definitely, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to go down to 108.50s or somewhere around that level. We head down to the 240 chart, which is the 4-hour. And we can see the market putting in a little bit of consolidation, right? We've broken out. We've extended to the downside. We've popped back up to the upside. We've tried to test the downside. Now we're coming back up to the upside again. And typically in periods of consolidation is when we start to see pattern formations form. And that's what we have setting up here. Heading over to the hourly real quick. Let me just keep an eye on my dollar Canada range bar chart. All right. Still going here. All right. We talked about potential for the complex pullback. So still moving up here into our kill zone here on dollar Canada. We did have RSI swap here. You can see no lower low, lower close or anything like that. So let's see if the market can continue up a little bit higher, and maybe we'll see some exhaustion there. Here's a look at the 15-minute, where slightly different signal. 15-minute, you did get that initial lower low, lower close. Talked about a little bit of a pullback and maybe a potential complex pullback heading to the upside, which would put you right at these highs. So keep an eye on dollar Canada. But back to the end. I'll just, yeah. So here's a look at the dollar again. Now I got a question this morning from one of our traders, and I actually got this through email the other week as well, about gaps in impulse legs. How do gaps affect impulse legs? So for you guys, do gaps in the market affect your impulse legs? Do they not affect your impulse legs? What do you guys say? What's your opinion on that? Oh, and I remembered, right? Random thought. I remember this morning I said I was happy about 3 things, and I told you 2, and I forgot the third one. I ordered my new chair. I ordered my new Secret Lab chair. That was the third thing. I finally caved in. I wasn't going to, guys. Charles was teasing me. Oh, cute. They have all these custom colors and free shipping, and it feels so good. There was this awesome YouTube video, one of the best YouTube ads I saw. There's no music, there was nothing fancy about it, just natural sounds. And it was a guy, it was a man, like 5 o'clock shadow, just normal looking dude, just unboxing a chair, building it, and sitting down and letting out a little sigh of relief. Greatest, I can't even find it anymore, but it popped up. All you heard was like the shoop, shoop, then he sat down. All you hear is, and then he gets to work. And I was like, that's me. That's me in the morning. That's me in the morning. If you guys remember that video Jason Stapleton and I did where we were fighting, right? Before the fighting and stuff like that, before I did that awesome jump kick off the pillar. Awesome, right? It was a calm before the storm, right? We came in, Jason came in reading his newspaper, walked into it, drunk his coffee, put it down, you sit down, the calm before the storm, and then you go into battle. And I feel like that's me every morning. I come in, I stretch, I do my yoga stuff and blah, blah, blah. I raise my desk up, and then it's like the countdown clock's here for you guys. It gets to 0. Let's go. So it related to me. But I wasn't originally going to get it, but I've got a swollen kneecap, which I haven't done anything to it, so I have no idea why it's swollen, but it's annoying because I'm dragging around an anchor. So I'm standing today, which is not proving to be a good idea, but the last couple of days I've been sitting. So it really brought to light how old my current chair is. And that was just the excuse I needed. So that was the third thing. But going back to impulse legs, yeah, I look at gaps as being an invisible candle, right? So we see this little gap here in the market, still an impulse leg for me. X to A to B. I see this as a red candle that just wasn't printed. So X to A to B for our initial retracement, 73.8. So it's a deep one. B to C down here. And then a CD completion, which is going to be very close to our highs because that B leg is so deep. So you have a nice deep potential bearish Gartley pattern here at 109.98. It's right below an even handle number as well, so a psychological number in 110 flat. And you can see the risk reward is pretty good, about a 2-to-1 risk reward. I'm gonna feel like the king of my throne. Yeah. Well, so here's what's gonna happen. As soon as I get the chair, my knee's gonna be feeling better, and I'm never gonna use it. But it's a good investment. I do not. I do not. I'm very frugal. I don't buy a lot of stuff at all. You guys know that. Um, I do invest in stuff that has to do with like my body and stuff like that. So ergonomic stuff, like I just bought a new keyboard, a new mouse because I was having hand and wrist problems. So stuff that's for my health. I do invest in stuff for my health. I got the blue light filter, my glasses, stuff like that. I'm probably gonna get curved monitors at some point. I don't think it's necessary anymore though, since I got all the blue light stuff. But I do invest in that. That and microphones. That and so many microphones. All right, so potential Gartley here. Bear Gartley here on dollar yen. Chris reminds us that the euro dollar bat, 15-minute bat, is almost filled as well. Let's head down to the 15-minute chart here on dollar yen and see if there's anything else aside from this advanced pattern that needs to be taken seriously. Yeah, my eyes don't even notice that my computer has changed anymore. I've completely adapted. I had to check the other day to make sure my blue light filter on the computer was on. It just seems normal. Yeah, and then one day I turned it off and it blew my face off. You guys ever see the movie Ghost Rider? Yeah, that's what it looked like. Just a skull. Just a skull. All right, if you're looking for a structure-based trade, before that, we're holding the B line right now. We're not getting anything. We're not really getting anything of relevance at this level to make you think we're more likely to go lower than higher. So it looks like the Gartley is going to be the only thing on the radar here for the dollar yen. Let's go to, where are we going next, guys? Again, I have no rhyme and reason. I'm all over the place today. Typically, I'm in a routine. I did have, I feel like I had the dollar index on my radar last night. Gabrielle says, Kiwis being stupid. Let me just bring up my trading view real quick to see what else I had on my watch list. Gold had a Gartley on it too. Or a bat was on gold, but that's close. We looked at AMT yesterday. We looked at pound. Did we do pound yen already today? We did not do pound yen. We do pound yen next. We'll see if there's any commodities or anything I want to look at. The flag pattern is gold, and gold is still going on. Silver was nothing. The DAX was one that was on my radar. We're at a. We can look at this real quick. I'll bring it over. So the DAX right here, we have a potential advanced pattern here, but here's what we've been doing on the daily. Yeah, Aussie. Well, we're still in that long wick level for the Aussie, right, Gabrielle? Let me just check. I did have that on my radar, but we're okay. No, that was the one that was breaking below Aussie Canada. Okay, so that could be something interesting if we after the daily close of that. But we're looking at the DAX here. All these Aussie and yen pairs run together. Looking at the DAX here, and we have a nice pullback into previous structure. Remember earlier in the week, we're looking for some type of retracement off of this level. Looks like an ideal pullback trade. Would you guys agree? Looks like an ideal trend continuation pullback trade. Very nice level of structure. Nice little structure swap here. Resistance, broken. Support, support. However, remember, bigger picture, right? We zoom out. We're not necessarily in a place of clear sailing, right? We did run into previous structure highs right here. We have not violated them. Now, based on what's been kind of the theme of the day, paying attention to candlesticks, right? Although these candlesticks, I'm on the weekly now, so bigger time frame. Although these candlesticks are red, which would tell you they are bearish, right? These are actually positive bullish candlesticks. And again, once again, why is that? Why would these be considered positive bullish candlesticks? Yes, supportive wicks. Look at these wicks, right? We had a retracement, obviously. We had an engulfing candle, a bearish engulfing candle, but it wasn't a strong bearish engulfing candle. It found buying pressure. We had price all week, right? I mean, this is a weekly candle. So all week tried to dive down and continue off of that initial move. And so far, again, we still have more time in the week. So far, it's failed. So far, it's failed. So we're setting up where we can potentially, and again, there's so much more time in the week. I can't put any more emphasis on that. But we're setting up where we could be, excuse me, we could be getting set to take off like a rocket ship. And this is the little smoke tail that comes off behind it. So keep that in mind. But going down to the lower time frame, something we had in this level of consolidation while the market tries to make up its mind on what it wants to do was an advanced pattern formation, right? We had a swing high to swing low right down here. We had a move back up to our 50% retracement. And what we have at market is a bearish bat pattern. X to A to B, B to C, C to D, right up here at that 886. So as the market figures out what it wants to do and it starts to kind of bounce up and down and left and right, we often see these pattern formations form until the market goes back into some type of trending way, either to the upside or the downside. So I do think that's an interesting play to keep an eye on. Real quick while we're here, let's take a look at gold. Gold on the daily, we know bigger flag pattern here. We're still doing it. We're still doing it. Now, gold is similar. This is a bullish pattern, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously. This is a bullish pattern if you didn't know. However, we haven't been able to get past this little structure clunk up here, right? So it's not a free-for-all to the upside. Obviously, gold has a big fundamental impact as well, so what's happening in the news will affect gold too. But this would be a positive sign for a bullish move for you guys that are breakout traders. If we were to range and really hug the upper half of this flag pattern, that would be a positive sign for a potential bullish breakout. Why? Why? Anybody? Why? If we were to hug the upper half of this pattern formation, why would that be a positive sign for a bullish breakout, potential bullish breakout? Right? Think about it like this. You guys know I'm a sports nerd, so everything goes back to sports, right? If you got two teams, if you have two teams playing and one team is very dominant, right? Give me an example. Give me a bad team and a really good team. Don't say Everton. Please. Not bad. We're just not good. But give me an example of a good team. Yeah, I knew you were going to say it. Haters. New Orleans and Golden State. Let's do a worse team. Let's say Golden State Warriors, really, really good team. Let's say Chicago Bulls, really, really bad team. Right? What should the really, really good team do to the really, really bad team right away? They should dominate, right? The game should be over as soon as it starts. Right? They should jump on them right away. It should be over. Right? Clear sign, right? Now, what happens if that team kind of hangs in there? We saw that yesterday for you guys that watched the NBA playoffs. The Milwaukee Bucks kind of just hung around in that game and then ended up winning it. When the team hangs in there, right, there's a better chance that they might be able to pull it off, right? So if we were seeing, once again, if we were seeing a massive amount of selling pressure, right, if the sellers overwhelmed the buyers at this level drastically, we wouldn't hang around here, would we? We'd probably make our way back across the channel. So the more that we hang around here, the better the chance that it's like, hey, this could happen. We could be seeing an upset, and boom, we may see that breakout. So I'm always looking at the markets in terms of where's the pressure? Buyers versus sellers. Who's kind of winning the battle? And ideally, at this level, at this upper trend line, you would assume that, okay, well, buyers win down here, they push it up. Sellers win down here, they push it down, right? When that doesn't necessarily happen, then you start to think, oh, wait a minute, this could happen. So if we hang around that upper trend line, that shows me that there's less selling strength in the market. If there's less selling strength in the market, there's a chance that the buyers can break this out. So that's something to pay attention to as the days go on. Again, will this happen? Who knows? I don't know. But if it does happen, that'd be an interesting sign. I wonder if we have an example anywhere here of that. You'll see it all over the place once you know what to look for. But it was the same way. Was it pound yen? Pound dollar? No. Was it pound yen or pound dollar? Pound dollar, I think, did it with the recent breakout we had. Maybe not. Yeah, here's an example right here. So, if you guys remember this from a couple weeks ago, we had the pound dollar, we had the descending triangle, right? And remember we talked about this? We came down again, and then we just kind of hung out here. Same type of deal here. We hung out around the downside, and then boom. Broken. Braked it. Brexit. All right, let's go to Aussie Canada next. Little clues, guys. Little clues. AUDCAD. Yeah, you know me. On the daily, you can see my yellow line there was not where it should be. But my yellow line now represents the low of this previous wick, which is the level that we are flirting with right now on the Aussie Canada. So, with price where it's at right now, you should be looking for potential buying opportunities. If we break and close below that level, that's going to open a door for potential selling opportunities. Once again, the question is, if we sell, where are we likely to go to? Hard to really pinpoint a key level of structure to shoot for. 92.20s, just the even handle number. That's something that would stand out. Obviously, our bigger level of structure is right around the 91 even handle. But it'll be very interesting to see if we can, or what happens at this level. From a counter trend buying perspective, again, a combination that would be really good to see is a hold of this level followed by an engulfing candle. That would start up essentially kind of like a V bottom. You guys know how I feel about V bottoms and V tops, where good moves don't last. So if we were to see price action come down to this level, probe it, unlike that pair we looked at earlier, probe this level, close above it, and then right away get engulfed by the bulls, good sign for a bullish continuation. Good sign that this level has some strength. There is some buying interest there, and that we can legitimately see a hold at that level. Last says, what is the psychology behind support turning to resistance and vice versa? Just interest in the market. Just levels, places on a battlefield. So if you see something where price action comes to resistance right here, this is a level where both buyers and sellers were both interested, right? It stops because there's a battle between the buyers and the sellers, right? If only buyers are interested, what would happen? It would go right through, right? If only sellers are interested, it would go right down. So these are little battle points where the buying pressure and selling pressure have kind of come to an equal playing field, and they're fighting for supremacy. Now, eventually someone wins and someone loses. In this case, let's say the buyers win, right? Buyers win, they push it up. Market does what it does. Eventually, it comes down to this level, right? This was a level of interest from both the buyers and sellers before, right? An important price. Good chance that this is going to be a level of interest again. right? It was an important price point before. Good chance that it will be an important price point again. From a more, I guess, hands-on trading perspective, right? If I see this level right here and I know that this soon-to-be yellow line, right? If this yellow line was a place where the buyers and sellers had it out, and I am someone that is selling from up here, right? I'm selling for whatever reason, and I'm looking for a place to take targets, right? Probably a place I'm interested in taking targets at. Why? Well, because this is a level that showed strength in the past. So now as a seller, I become a buyer. And then there are also new buyers there that are like, ooh, previous level of support. I want to get involved too. Does that make sense? Yep. So basically, it's just walking a battlefield and saying, oh, that was a good battle over there. And typically those levels tend to repeat themselves. All right, so let's go down to the 240 chart. Again, what's really going to matter here on Aussie Canada is the daily. We're not really going to have too much after that on a lower time frame. We'll go through it just because. But we really want to see that daily close. That's going to dictate really how we handle the rest of our situation here. Yeah, so you can see nothing here on the 60. The 15 is going to get boring. Daily close is going to be where it's at, guys. Daily close is going to be where it's at. Let's go to pound yen next. The beast from the east. I'm watching Canada on the range bar charts. We come up into the zone. Waiting to see if we get a lower low, lower close here, if we're going to just go higher again. But I'm looking for a move back to 134.02. We're at 134.26. A close would put us at 124.23. About 20 pip move. We'll see what happens here. We shall see. All right, pound yen. Pound yen. Give me a second, guys. We may be closing on Canada any second now. Trying to keep my side eye on the range bar charts as well. Because you guys know those things move quick. You can see pound yen, we've just violated a previous level of structure. Not a strong bearish candle, but a violation nonetheless. Come on. If you're going to do it, just do it. Don't. There we go. Okay. Fart. Not bad. All right. I'm short at market, dollar Canada. Let me get this over to you guys real quick. Let me just get stops on. 32, 37. And looking for a move back down to 34.02s for target ones. So short dollar Canada, we got our pullback, lower low, lower close. Next opportunity would be a double bottom. Slipped a little bit on the entry, obviously, but that's what's going to happen on the range bar charts, guys. I told you that time and time again. You're gonna get slipped, so you deal with it. And we'll see if we can get a nice little pullback trade here. So we're stalking that one. This was the first pair we looked at this morning. We're stalking it. So good to see we get a trading opportunity. Now we'll see how it plays out. Lastly, did we violate the wicks a bit more to the left? Going back to the daily. These wicks down here, we did not know. Let me know if this is what you're referring to. I'll draw a circle around it. January 19th. January 19th. These right here. I'll make this different color. We did not. There's no close below that lower level. So close below this level, no close below the January 19th level edge. So let's go down to the 240 chart. And you can see price action just moseying its way down, right? We had a nice, we had a very bearish day on the pound pairs yesterday, moseying its way down. And then coming down to retest itself earlier today. Let's go to a 60-minute chart. $60-minute chart here on the pound yen. Now again, what will be interesting here is if we were to violate these lows. That will be of interest. Check your data. It didn't end up being a Gartley for me. We were a little bit past the A leg with the C, but check your data. If we're to violate these lows, this sets up another trend continuation type play. But we need to violate those 140.20s first and foremost. So until that happens, really not a lot we can keep an eye on here for pound yen. 134.22. Give me a second. All right, pound yen. Pound yen. Let's go to euro. We didn't do euro dollar. Let's go euro dollar. Again, I try to get the exciting pairs out the way in the beginning before you guys fall asleep. Euro dollar here. Euro dollar is putting these weird type of euro dollar and pound dollar are both putting these weird type of head and shoulder type deals that weren't really opportunities, but could be. By the way, what was New Zealand, Canada, real quick, just to check on that. That was the one we looked at, potential head and shoulders. I know Taylor was looking at it. Still holding the shoulder level. It's not too much there. All right, euro dollar on the daily. Really not a lot has changed at all. Yesterday was a doji day, so a day of indecision. Today so far is a bearish day, but we're completely within the range, right? Inside bar, completely within the range of our previous day. So we'll see what happens here. Inside day, I should say. Let's go down to the 240. $240 here. Bunch of junk. Let's go to the 60-minute. Not a lot here. Counter trend traders, you can look for a counter trend trading opportunity if we come down to these lows. Hard to make a prediction on where price action is likely to go to, but that would be an opportunity for you down there. Yeah, so look for, we're oversold right now. Technically, we're at the top of that zone. It's going to be a big one here on the 15-minute chart. But if you can look for a reason for entry there, you can potentially look for a move back up to 112s. Again, we had that advanced pattern there as well. Very, very small opportunity. I'll draw that on again for you guys on the 15. It just didn't hit yet, I don't believe. But X to A, A to B, B to C, C to D was right down there. Your targets for a structure-based trade would basically be the same. So it's going to be a very, very petite opportunity. Not a huge fan of this bet. Yeah, I mean, it's a small one, but if it meets the rules, take the trade. Take the trade. I'm in the mood for some salmon today. That's what I'm in the mood for. I'm hungry. All right. Let's go to Euro Yen next. Euro Yen. Latch only fancies the pretty ones. First impressions, man. First impressions. Last says standards, yeah. Standards. You gotta meet those standards just to talk to Latch. Please fill out this resume first before engaging in any type of conversation. I had a buddy of mine. He's getting married a week from now. He had standards, and he's marrying a wife that met his whole checklist. It was the weirdest thing in the world. He had a checklist, and he was like, "Kill. She marks all the boxes." I said, "Really?" She's, "Yeah. I don't think she wears glasses." And he found out she does, just not when she was racing. He's like, "Yep, that's the last one. I'm gonna marry this girl." I'm like, "You gotta talk to her first." He's like, "Don't worry about that." Now they're getting married next week. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Euro Yen Daily. Doji Day yesterday. Really a lot of indecision in this market the last couple of days here on the Euro Yen. Doesn't come as a surprise seeing how we're kind of right in that big wick zone. But let's see what it looks like on the lower time frames. Take care, Cody. Let's go down to the 60. Mm-mm. 15. All right. Let's do this, right? Let's load up TradingView one more time. That way I can do a quick run. Quick run. Dark Energy. Look at that. Magic Poop Cannon. Still one of the top authors. Oh my, that's who I want. Bitcoin, that's what I want to take a look at. I had a cool see if I can find it on the Twitter. Good one, George. Good one. Let's see if I can find it. Long road. Thanks to Kill You're Awesome. Obama GIF. Here we go. Found this from StockTwits the other day. Let's see how Bitcoin is doing. Wow. Just broke 7,600. Only 11,500 left to break even. I love the face. Convincing himself that it's okay. It's okay. How's your investment doing? It's doing fine. It's doing fine. But you look deep down, you can see the pain. Look at the pain. Look at the pain. The strong grip of the coffee cup. I love it. I love it. God bless whoever creates these things. Let's look at Bitcoin. I haven't looked at it in a while. Since I made my controversial prediction. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing on the weekly. We're going up. All right. So we broke our descending triangle to the downside, which everyone yelled at me about. Sucks for them. Learn technicals. Let's see where we're at right now. We've got structure here. We've got levels here. We've got levels there. For you guys that like to buy and sell when the market goes overbought or oversold, market went overbought right here at 42 flat. Yeah, keep selling whenever it goes overbought. See what happens. See what happens. Now on a normal chart, I would say, you know, be on alert for some type of reversals. I don't personally think Bitcoin moves like a normal chart. So I'm not a Bitcoin trader. You know, consult your Nick. Nick was a crypto guy. So if you guys see Nick on the chat, you know, consult him. He has a good feel for how many of the cryptos move. But normally, I would say we're due for some type of relief. Again, on a normal pair, we are at a previous level of structure right there. Oops, excuse me. I would say we're due for some relief, but again, I also don't believe Bitcoin moves like a normal market or a normal pair inside a normal market. So trade at your own risk. Let's see. Let me just go through this real quick, see if there's anything else that's worth talking about. I know I had some minor pairs that are typically on my radar that we looked at the other day. Euro Canada. Let's see what Euro Canada is doing. Euro Canada is really floating in no man's land. We've broken a previous level of structure support, right? We can go lower. We can not shock me to go right above, maybe not $1.50, but right above that level. So if you're a day trader or a short-term swing trader, keep an eye on Euro Canada for a type of either if we consolidate in here, some type of breakout trade, or some type of pullback trade and an opportunity to go lower. But I do think we can go lower here on Euro Canada. I think we can go to about 150s, somewhere in this level down here. So that could be something to keep an eye on, guys. Euro pound, what are you doing? Are we finally breaking those highs? Euro pound is kind of similar to Euro Aussie. How we were testing these highs. We weren't necessarily making these highs. It looks like we're starting to break above here. We break above here on Euro pound here, the molasses pair. Once again, we can push higher. There is room to push higher here on Euro pound. The question is, how are we going to go about doing it? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, right? 9 bullish days in a row. It's a lot of bullish days, guys. That's a lot of bullish days. 9 bullish days in a row. So you would think that we're due for some relief. But we've just slowly churned up there. I mean, look at these candles. There's a few big candles obviously in here, but it's just been a slow churn. But we did put in a higher high, higher close above this spike. We do have a doji. A doji is a sign for indecision, potentially some consolidation. So 2 things that we can look for here. 1, a retest of this little structure shelf right here and a continuation up. 2, we may just see a breakout. We're not really going sideways here. I thought we'd see like a flag or something. We could just see a breakout. But I think if we get back to this level here, this shelf, look for buying opportunities at that shelf. But there's room to go higher here on Euro pound. The key is how to take advantage of it. Euro Kiwi, blase blah. One of our Head and Shoulders monsters from earlier in the year. We had like 5 patterns that all had Head and Shoulders bottoms setting up. Aussie yen, blah. Canada yen. Potential advanced pattern formation, Canada yen. Depending on your C leg. I think your C leg is going to be a little bit past it. Check your C leg. You may have an advanced pattern formation on Canada yen. Very similar, basically a mirror image of the dollar yen. Gabrielle says New Zealand dollar 26.18 at market, but it's not valid. Not valid for her, excuse me. New Zealand dollar. Let's go on to the hourly. Uh-oh. A buddy of mine mentioned they were having some trading view issues today. So here's a clear look at the 26.18 again, the break above and close above this level, and then the retest back into it on the Kiwi. So again, it's one of those weird situations where your double bottom is here, right? Looks like an obvious break and close, but technically speaking, we never do because of this wick. So this is still your valid double bottom. So if you're a 26.18 trader, your 618 comes right here, 65.60s, or at least that's the start of your zone. At least that's the start of your 26.18 zone. All right. Any other pairs you guys want to take a look at? Or any other questions before we head out? I've got a meeting at 10, so I've got to to bounce. Quality day. Again, slow day in the market. We had a great day of analysis, in my opinion. And of course, the session is recorded. So if you guys missed the first half or you just like to go back and review it, it will be up later in the day as well. So it looks like a no. All right. Pleasure as always, guys. I'll see you later. Until then, plan your trade your plan. Take care. That's right. Today's Thursday. I'll see you Monday. I'll have a video out today on YouTube. I'll probably try to premiere it, walking you guys through the dollar yen trade. And then I'm going to try and do a big trading edge either Friday or Saturday, kind of a big overall view of the market. I don't know what day I want to do it. I don't really want to work on the weekends, so it might just be Friday. But I'll see you guys through video, and of course I'll see you guys on the chat. All right, you guys have a good one.